This is Texans TV.
It is time, my friends. This is Texans 360. My name's Drew Doherty, and you are in for a treat because for the next 22 minutes and change, we're all about your favorite football team. We're going to catch up with the head coach. We're going to hear from a national media type about what she thinks the future holds here in Houston for the Texans. Plus, we are a hop, skipping away from NRG Stadium here at Shern Elementary, where the Texans help some kiddos get ready for the STAAR test. And one of the Texans who helped do so, linebacker Garett Wallow. He's entering year 3 as a Houston Texan. This is a big offseason for him and what promises to be a big year on the field as well. Got a chance to go one-on-one with him, and here's a little of that conversation. How are you these days? What's going on? How's this offseason been for you football-wise?
Yeah, it's been good. A lot of it just been a lot of rehabbing on my ankle. I had surgery this offseason in January, so I think coming up maybe on a month or 2 months, maybe possibly. Just taking it day by day. Honestly, prepare myself mentally and physically for this upcoming season, and hope to have the best one I had yet.
I was gonna say, when you're not able to do the physical stuff mentally, though, after having seen it the last season or two in the off season, how much easier is it for you? How much more are you gaining on the mental side when you look at things like that?
Right. I could just tell myself definitely transforming from my first year. I think different. I know the business a little bit more. I know how things operate more. So, I kind of just prepared myself mentally to succeed at this level, to succeed at this game. Also in just like I know I want to be out there physically right now, but right now I have to take it slow for V. So for me, I had to just constantly tell myself, be patient. Your time's coming to ramp it up when you want to, and you want to be the healthiest that you can when that comes. So just honestly, just being patient has been really the only key to this offseason for me.
Hey, we haven't talked to you since the news came down, but former Texans linebacker is now your head coach. How cool is that? How much have you been invigorated about what you've seen with the DeMeco Ryans hiring?
Yeah, I think we're all excited to have a guy that's been in our shoes, a guy who's young, has a lot of energy. I met him the other day, and you could just feel the energy. You could just feel the type of guy he is. So I think we're all just excited, especially myself, to get to learn from him and get to play for him and get to lay on the line for him.
And I'm guessing over the last few years, you've looked around the league and you've seen what that defense has done. That's got to be pretty exciting too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I know for me personally, I look up to watching the 49ers linebackers. So, they're a good linebacking group from the past, and DeMeco, been coached by DeMeco. So having him come in, it's very exciting because you could just be coached by the best, in my opinion. So I'm definitely ready to learn from him.
Off the field, it's been a bbig time off season for you. Tell us what went down.
Yeah, I just got married to my beautiful wife. She's my better half. Don't let nobody tell you different. But that's really been my off season, is helping her plan everything out. I actually just bought a house in Dallas.
Congratulations.
So yeah, it's just been a lot going on. I took a trip for our honeymoon out the country. So man, it's just been kind of like a nonstop whirlwind. But things are starting to slow down a little bit now. So getting things prepared in our home and just trying to make everything just about family, really.
Where was the honeymoon?
In Bora Bora. Yeah,
wow.
It was beautiful. It was breathtaking for sure.
That's a bucket list place, man.
Oh yeah, it's kind of been a dream of mine since I was in high school. So, I had the ability to make it happen, so we did.
Bora Bora, Garett Wallow. Thanks for the time. Have fun in there with the kiddos, and we'll see you again real soon.
I appreciate you.
Bora Bora. Oh man, I'm jealous. I want to go. Congrats to you, Garrett, and your lovely bride. Hey, were you a good test taker growing up? Some of you, yes. Some. Okay, I was okay. A little later on, the SAT didn't do as good as I would have liked, or as well as I would have liked. There's a mix-up there. But anyways, the kids inside Shern and kids all across the state of Texas getting set for the STAAR test later this spring. Helping them out with that is our good pal, TORO, who's been doing this program for quite some time now.
We are here at Shern Elementary to kick off the 2023 Pass the STAAR program with TORO and Texas Children's Hospital. So we're going to visit 20 schools this month to get everyone motivated for the STAAR test. Obviously, standardized testing is something every kid has to go through, 3rd through 5th grade. So we really focus on the elementary schools.
Everyone say, what's up, Ezekiel?
One thing we like to remind the kids is that even though this is something they go through, when they prepare properly, you can conquer anything. So every year we do this program. It's changed in a couple different ways, but I think we've really gotten it to a great point where we're just telling these kids they're a lot like football players. So kids, they show up early, they have to go to class. Football players, the same thing. They show up early, they go to meetings, they've got to study, they have their teachers, their coaches. So it's really cool that there's this parallel between what football players do and what students do when they're preparing for this massive test or football game.
Garett Wallow!
I'm actually here as a special guest. Really, Toro's a special one, but I'm here to kind of emphasize how important it is for these kids to prepare and go into testing coming up, especially at a young age, and kind of just motivate them and really to see how happy they are. Y'all excited? I can't hear you.
It's not every day that you get to see a football player or the mascot out in the community. We'd like to do as much as we can, but there's so many schools in Houston, just being able to go to as many as we're possibly able to is huge. So we're very thankful for Texas Children's Hospital to be able to send us all over the city and make it possible for us to visit as many schools.
I always write everything down. It helps me memorize everything, and I always go back and study my notes and read over my notes, therefore that I'm prepared the best that I can. It's definitely a good experience, especially coming across kids. You get to see all the personalities, all the young personalities at that, and you kind of puts me back in their shoes when you were in these same hallways, just in probably different areas. But it's always good just to see the smile of those kids. Really, you never know where they come from, you never know their backgrounds really. So, this moment for them could be very special for them. That's why I try to make it special for them as well when I come. The hours are the same, guys. I wake up early, I go to sleep late, I do it all over again each and every day. So the main thing is that y'all are no different than me.
We have been everywhere, every district all over Houston, from Sealy to Winnie to Rosenberg to Conroe. We go all over the place. We hit all the districts. So it's really cool that we're able to spread this joy, this Texans energy throughout this entire greater Houston area.
The NFL annual meetings were last week in Arizona. Our very own Mark Vandermeer was there, and he caught up with, Cal and Hannah McNair, as well as head coach DeMeco Ryans. He also huddled with some national media types, including Diana Rossini of ESPN, and he heard her interesting journey.
How did playing women's soccer in college help you in your career?
Oh my goodness, I could talk for hours about it. It teaches you how to overcome failure, actually. I wasn't the best player at Mason. In fact, I was a walk-on, and I learned pretty quickly that, you're not going to be given things, that you're going to have to work really hard for it, and you're going to be told no a lot. And now as a reporter covering the NFL, I'm continually told no a lot. But I've learned that you're going to make mistakes, but if you're not persistent and relentless, you're never really going to get to where you want to get. And I've been really lucky with great people around me over the last few years to really support me and help me, just push me in the right direction. And now I'm at ESPN, and it's been awesome.
We talked with Adam Schefter. So would you ever want to do that kind of thing? Constant news breaking, no sleep at night. He says he does sleep, by the way, but what are your thoughts on what he does?
He does. Adam sleeps from 9:30 to midnight. And the reason why I know that is because we text each other a lot. And that's the only time he does not respond to text messages. In fact, I joke all the time that on my children's in case of emergency card at school, it's actually Schefter's number, not my husband's, because I know Adam will answer. He is not only just an incredible person, but he is the best at what he does. And to even assist on some stories, we work together a lot, has been incredible, and the experience has been great. But to consume as much as he does and to put out as much information, it really takes a certain type of person and personality and lifestyle. And I like pieces of it. I don't know if I want to be a full-blown Schefter, though. Right. I probably should keep the door open, but for where I'm at in my life right now, I love just covering the league, telling the story, giving some backstory to why certain transactions happened, and just really sharing with fans how things come together.
So what's your favorite part of the gig at ESPN?
I love breaking stories, which, go figure, here we are. I'm saying I don't want to do it, but it's so much fun to be able to get intel and share it and be the first to know it. My background's actually in news. I was a news reporter, and I used to cover tons of crime, and I used to love hanging out with the cops and the firefighters and hearing about all their stories, and they would help give me information to paint a better picture for the viewer. And I used so much of that skill set, and I applied it to football. And I try to use the same skills really of gathering to tell the whole picture, and that's been really enjoyable. And ESPN's done a good job of allowing me not only to break news, but to be myself. I don't think you have to be just a machine. You know, even Schefter has really loosened up over the years. You know, years ago you look back at his work, he's a little robotic. Now we know a little bit more about Adam, right? He shares more, and
He took his shirt off.
Nobody wanted to see that, but he did that. He did not consult with me on that. I would have said, no way, what are you doing? Although for 56 years old, credit to Adam Schefter.
Not bad.
He looked really good. I mean, it's still dad bod, but it not bad. And you know,
There are many levels of dad bod.
There are, but he works out, and I mean, he's on the phone the whole time he works out, but at least he gets that cardio in. So.
All right, well, tell me your thoughts on what the Texans have done so far this offseason. DeMeco Ryans, some of the acquisitions pre-draft.
So, first of all, I think the hire is fantastic. And I'll just put it on people around the league who have told me about DeMeco and just why he's such a good fit. Just all the characteristics. When it was leading up to him winding up in Houston, I almost felt like there was just a bit of a fight for him around the league, too, to bring him into the building. There really was, because there were a lot of teams that had that interest just because of his ability to connect with players. And you see it in one conversation with him. And it really carries weight when you're trying to build an organization, build a team, not from scratch, but we know there's been a lot of holes that have been filled and are going to be filled, and it's a team that's evolving. And getting the right leader can change. I mean, you look in the division, right? You look at what the Tennessee Titans have done, and I think Mike Vrabel's a great example of a kind of coach that connects with players and has been able to build something and build an identity. I think that's the hardest part for teams, and once you can figure out the identity, then you start having success.
Diana, thanks a lot for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Out here at Shern Elementary, it's just a few miles away from NRG Stadium. You know, punter Cam Johnston has been excellent since he joined the team a few years back, and he's made a big dent in a positive way in the community with his works with animals. He and his wife recently went and had a day at the SPCA with some dogs.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Cameron Johnston. I'm here with my wife, Tia. We're here at Houston SPCA here today. Come and see some of the dogs, the stuff we do on the off days, so let's go. They'll always seem to find homes. The puppies here will go so quickly. It's the bigger dogs sometimes that we need the help finding homes.
The bigger dogs have a little bit harder time finding homes because everybody wants a puppy. I mean, you're about to see why.
Yeah, usually the puppies usually go pretty quickly.
What are you doing back here?
The bird, he's just yelling. Yeah, no, it's fine. We come in, try and take the dogs out, play with them out back, so.
Bruno! Look at Bruno out.
Yep, you want that? There we go.
So Bruno's adoption fees are covered. He's a punch dog.
Oh, you already, is it? Come on, inside, let's go. We got that ball. Let's see if he wants to play. We'll see how he goes. He just runs straight away.
What are you doing?
He's a little hyper.
Can you sit? Good boy.
Sit, sit. Good boy.
So I've really been passionate about rescue my whole life. I've always rescued dogs, so we adopted our first dog in Philly, and I think that's when he also became passionate as well.
But then once we got down here to Houston, we wanted to find a shelter straight away. We looked online and we saw the amazing work Houston SPCA does with, you know, all animals that there's any issues with them, with the cruelty. Their investigators will go out and get to the bottom of it. They also have ambulance will go out and help injured animals as well. So. I mean, all these dogs in here, they all deserve a good home. Being able to help out, facilitate that by, I mean, any way that we can. Yeah, we love doing that. So.
And you'll read the stories about what these dogs have been through, like how the dogs change as soon as they get into a loving home, even if they've been through the worst of the worst.
Lily, Lily. What are you doing? Come here. Come here.
I love it. Honestly, it's just like kind of a release to get away a little. You get in such of a bubble with football. I think the main thing is coming out here and hearing the ones that get adopted and then finding out the homes they're in. It makes a big difference as well, just knowing how happy they are. So.
What are you doing, Lily? You good? Can I help you? Come on.
So with our punts for Houston SPCA, every inside 20 punt we have this year, we sponsor the adoption fees for a dog here. Feel free to come out, see them, and we'd love for you to adopt them to take them home with your family. So.
Adopting is so easy. You just come in, ask a staff member to help, and you're there. Especially when the adoption fees are covered, like Lily's. That makes it even easier.
You want to look at the camera? Here, you can turn around. Look, there it is, right there. Here, go to the camera. What's going on with the camera?
What is that?
Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today on our off day.
Yeah, if you are considering adopting a dog or a cat or another type of animal into your home, or you know somebody who is, point them to Houston SPCA. Adopting is so easy. And check out Cam's Instagram for our punts for Houston SPCA dogs.
Long time. Hey, Peter. Great. How you doing, man? You let him in, huh? What's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you as well. 2010, I think that was. I went back to my before the 2011 season. I went back to my. We weren't allowed to be at the training facilities, so I went back to Alabama and I went back to my high school, and I was just helping out there during the spring football, and they didn't have a defensive coordinator at the time, and the head coach allowed me to coach the defense, and those kids hadn't won in a long time. So they were hungry just to get a win. They had one spring game, and I was able to go through and practice with those guys throughout the entire spring. And just to see their excitement when we won that spring game, that did it for me. You change the culture, what you change it's the people, right? It's bringing in guys who have been part of winning programs, right? And those guys establishing how do winners practice, right? How do winners work in the weight room? How do winners handle themselves off the field? When you add those guys to your team, right, that's how the culture continues to change. And you come in, you add, younger college guys, draft guys, or undrafted free agents, and they just fall underneath that leadership of the guys that we've added. Right? We bring the right people in who have the right work ethic, the right mindset, and that's how the culture starts to shift, and that's how we build a winning program. To add interior defensive linemen, to add, really good offensive linemen to our team, that's going to be vital to us moving forward and being successful. That's where it all starts. If we can't play well up front, we're not going to be a good football team. So we want to continue to add up front as much as we can on the defensive and offensive side, add as much depth as we can, because, you lose those guys at times. So you have to have enough depth. You have to be able to rotate guys on the defensive side, and you have to have solid guys in the offensive line, that you can count on. What I learned about free agency is you have to have discipline. You don't want to pay $8 for a B or C player, right? So you just have to have some discipline, and once the price gets to a certain point, you just have to be disciplined enough not to overreach, right? You want to add quality players to your team, but you don't want to overpay. But the talent is the talent.
Always great to hear from DeMeco Ryans, the head coach of your Houston Texans. You know, we're here at Shern Elementary in South Houston, and the Texans help some kiddos get ready for the STAAR test. Earlier this spring, there was a cookout, and I'm hungry because Cal McNair was cooking.
Texans Chair and CEO Cal McNair and Vice President of the Texans Foundation Hannah McNair recently welcomed guests to their home for an unforgettable cookout. The special evening, which was a live auction item at the team's inaugural season premiere event last August, included a delicious dinner featuring barbecue brisket, ribs, and chicken smoked by McNair. Special guests also included Texans Legends Andre Johnson, Travis Johnson, Brian Cushing, Kevin Walter, Cecil Shorts III, and Texans running back Damian Pierce.
How you doing, Mike? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Great. How you doing, man? Good.
How you doing, brother?
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Texans 360. Been so much fun hanging out with you on location here at Shern Elementary in South Houston. And for the guys that put this whole thing together, like Tyler Suddarth and Gardy Swingby, and a cast of thousands, my name's Drew Doherty, and we'll see you next time. Same spot, same time. This is Texans 360. Go Texans. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.